Hey and welcome to Unfiltered Us, today with a very short session. We don't have time, 30 minutes. Unfiltered Us, we're having conversations about love, about life, about partnerships, about whatever interests us while we cook, while we walk, while we do all sorts of stuff. And we invite you to join our conversations. And yeah, my name's Rob.
I'm Carron.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, then please subscribe, like, leave a comment. We would always love to know what moves you. And today we are going to talk about kids and AI these days.
And the impact that
pet
we
peeve topic.
think AI may have on our kids, which is a big unknown.
Yeah, especially in times where it's not really obvious what kids should actually do these days. So
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know what they should study, right? Like, what do you even recommend to your kids to study? Or
yeah, because the key challenge that kids these days, young adults, even students, like even everyone who just finished their
university
degree, and their paralegal education, like, well, what do you do, right? Because if you're in professions where low entry level jobs are essentially being replaced by AI and by automated workflows, yeah, what do you do, right? And if you just, and I really, the generation that I feel the most pity with is everyone who just now finished
the ones who
the
just
education,
finished their university degrees.
where it's like, you know, if you're starting right now, at least you have the choice to change. If you're 4, 5, 6 years into your law degree, into your graphics design
or marketing,
software engineering degree, well, I mean, that's, yeah, at least you need some experience then still, but then you're screwed to some extent. Or
yeah,
you're potentially
or are
screwed.
you? I mean,
That's the question, right?
yeah. I mean, so I think there are definitely going to be industries that are more affected by AI than other industries. And I think it's industries that you would never have even anticipated. And I think some of them are really surprising, you know, people where they would have thought that they were perfectly safe in their jobs. I heard something about anesthetists and how AI is...
What?
AI with anesthetists, anesthesiologists. You would think an anesthetist, I mean, you're a highly, highly qualified doctor. You know, you're specialized. And as my one friend who studied anesthetics said, like, his job is not to put you to sleep. His job is to keep you alive and wake you up after your surgery, right? So you would think that kind of profession would be completely safe. And yet I listened to some podcast the other day and they were talking about how they're using AI. So in a big surgical ward, in the past there would have been an anesthetist per patient that was under anesthetic. And now they will have AI keeping tabs on every single patient, you know, because obviously they're monitored, right? So maybe they're on a ventilator, you know, often they're on a ventilator when you're under surgery, and so there's AI keeping track of every single little parameter that the anesthetist would normally keep track of. And if anything becomes an issue, then they flag the one anesthesiologist that is on call that is there for the 10 patients that are all under anesthetic at the same time. And the anaesthetist then goes and sees that patient and sorts out what needs to be done, etc. But
yes, essentially they're sitting on a dashboard.
Yeah,
watching, or like overwatching the computers, overwatching the patient, right?
Yeah.
That's the absurd part.
But so you've gone from 10 anesthetists to 1.
That's crazy, yeah.
So yes, you still need anesthetists, you just don't need as many. And I was so surprised. I never knew that they were using AI in the realm of anesthetics, and I never imagined that an anesthetist would be replaced by AI.
Well, I don't believe it's very widespread yet,
No, I don't think it is. Yeah.
but it's definitely coming. And knowing the whole medical health industry
How they're
quite
always
well,
trying to save money.
everyone is there's so
Optimize.
much pressure
Yeah.
to save costs, to optimize. A lot of the big hospital chains, they're just hemorrhaging money left and right.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, like it's an easy
way to
an
save
easy way
money.
to save money. Exactly.
And I mean,
right,
an
so.
anesthetist is also an expensive resource, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do we have any baking? We might have to do an alternative here.
I have to ask Constance. But I'm sure didn't you buy like bags and bags of didn't you last time buy like 3 bags of
I did.
Yes.
So that was one really surprising thing. And then my daughter's dad the other day was sort of making the suggestion of like, oh, why doesn't she go into graphic design? And I was like, graphic design is one of those fields that's going to be so impacted by AI, I think. But then today, when you were creating a newsletter and you were having such a challenge with creating an image, then I was like, well, maybe not. I mean, what was your experience with that?
Well, I agree that graphics design will have a big issue as an industry because there's so much you can do these days. It was a very tedious manual process in the past. Mm-hmm. I don't think, at least for now, it's completely going to disappear because if you put it this way, it's easy to create some image, some random image. It's easy to prompt something and say, okay, generate me a duck riding a bicycle in 70s psychedelic style, whatever, reading the Bible and the left hand and smoking a joint at the same time, right? So that's easy to do. And it's pretty impressive. That gets done in a few seconds. The problem is once you need something in a business context where you need to be able to reproduce and consistently maintain the same standard and visual identity. Because the problem with AI systems, they're all probabilistic. So essentially, every generation is new, right?
Okay.
So while some of the newer systems like Google released Nano Banana in, I think, in October this year.
Yeah.
They've gotten better at creating text, which was a big issue in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the text would always like be really strange.
Yeah. So that's they figured out how to do that.
Yeah.
The problem is if you say
and the whole thing with like a hand with like 6 fingers and 3 arms.
So I think
that's also been
that's all
resolved,
been sorted by now. That's not a problem. But it's like, okay, if you want to make small changes to something but keep the rest consistent, that's where the systems are still struggling with because they just can't do it. That's a problem. That's what was driving me.
It's like they can't follow instructions, right? Well, they typically LLMs are really good at following instructions. So that's why it's kind of curious that they can't just delete that one little part of the image or, put the heading in that place. So, it's quite strange that they're struggling with that.
But again, it's the way they are made because they're not made to, like when we create any kind of visual imagery, we have a concept of what's happening in the image. So we know this is an arm, this is a leg.
Okay, yeah.
They need to be here and there, and then it's almost like elements that we know, okay, we keep those the same, but then we change them. Mm-hmm. Whereas the image-generating AIs, in essence, they randomly create new images based on probabilities every single time, right? So they say, okay, if you tell them, okay, I need this arm a little bit more up, they start by thinking again about how an arm could look like. They don't say, okay, I have this arm already, I don't need to touch that.
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay, so you have 3 people in the room on that image. and you want that arm to be a little bit different, they almost start from regenerating the whole image based on your instructions.
And your instruction, yeah.
And that is the problem, right? And that's why they typically fall apart quite quickly.
So interesting.
Need a bigger bowl for that.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, let me just put it right in the pan.
And I know I was trying to create a logo using AI. What a frustrating process. I eventually ended up just creating it from scratch. Because it's just exactly like you said, you sort of, you said it, okay, change this element or make this element bigger or whatever. And it just...
And initially it often works. Like the first version is often not bad. It's like, okay, it kind of gets it.
And it also kind of gets your hopes up. You sort of think, oh, this is going to be so easy.
Yeah. Oh, like today we went through this whole process where I needed some changes in the image. And then the initial drafts are great. And it's like, oh, no, but it's just like, this part doesn't make sense. And it's stuff removed.
Yeah.
And removing stuff was also amazing. That worked completely flawlessly. But then I was like, no, I actually need to fill the space a little bit more. Make this heading a bit smaller.
And
Same
that
image.
would be something that a graphic designer could do
in like a second, right?
It's 1 second, yeah.
Didn't work, right?
Yeah.
So next attempt didn't work. Then, okay, so here's what I need you to do. So reprompting the whole thing. And then it recreated it, but in a different format. Like I need like a white screen 16:9 image. And then it went back to all of a sudden like generating square images. Like, oh, fuck's sakes, I don't need square images, I need... Yeah, so it was super frustrating. And I think that's an issue. Yeah, so coming back to our initial discussion before we start just bitching and moaning about the capabilities of modern AIs, or LLMs to be more specific, there certainly will be a shift in the industry because unfortunately that's also the impression of a lot of people, and that's true for many industries, that we can just replace these entry-level positions with AI, right?
Yeah.
Because, I can tell Gemini, I can tell Claude, I can tell OpenAI to just...
Go and do this research for
generate,
me. Or...
research is one thing, but like generate a logo for me that looks like that.
Yeah.
And it will do it, right? But then when it comes to actually working on the details, that's when it becomes a bit more difficult. And that's when where you still need some experience. The problem is, and that's true for graphics design, it's true for software engineering programming in particular.
Sorry, how did you cut these? Did you cut them in half and then?
I ate them. Like so. You need a bigger chopping board, Melissa.
No, I like this one. Thank you.
Okay.
Quartered or eighth?
Eighth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm going to do it as well as you did it.
I just took the individual bits and then I took the quarters and then ate them and then I cut like 2 finger wide pieces.
2 finger wide, okay.
Roughly.
Yeah.
So the problem is, especially if you look at the software engineering, what is true is that the software engineering tools that we have, whether it's Claude, whether it's Windsurf, whether it's Replit, whether it's all the other systems, they're doing an amazing job in doing the basic work, right? So you don't need to be able to program to a certain extent. You can just, it's called vibe code it, so you just tell the system what you need to do. Put them in over here.
So you're basically just chatting and interacting.
You're chatting and interacting.
Interface, yeah.
And that works remarkably well. So it is, a lot of people say, oh, you can have a website in like 1 minute. Which is true. You can tell it, okay, I need you to build a website about whatever, cooking, and I need to have pizzas on it, and I need to have these 5 versions, and they need to be in blue and green, and I want it to be with a friendly old Italian guy in front of the pizza oven, and then it will do it for you, right, all at once. That's great. And same with software engineering, same with creating software. That's exactly the same thing. You just prompt it, and it creates the code for you, and you have something that's actually running, and it's often surprisingly nice. The challenge then is when you, and it's similar to the graphics design stuff, when it's about the details, that's when these things fall apart. Because if you code something, you need to be able to put it on a server, you need to be able to have all the access rights, the security stuff, you have to be able to do the payment integrations, to capture some edge cases which are not working. And that's where you then need someone who has the experience in saying, because at this point in time, at least, most of these systems cannot do that. They can support it to some extent.
Yeah.
It's gonna come, I'm sure. It's gonna get better, at least. Or what's often the problem is that you create some code and the code has some issues, and the system just gets stuck. So it's like I've had it many times when we were developing software where you just get stuck in these endless loops where it's just repeating and repeating and repeating, and you have one problem, you solve it, and then you suddenly have a second problem, and then you solve that one, and you go back to the initial one, and just stuck in these endless frustrating loops. And that's when you need experienced people. That's where you need someone who has been programming for 20 years and say, oh, of course, like this.
I know exactly
what's happening here.
But that's an experienced person.
That's an experienced person, right? And so the problem that we're having right now is we still need experienced people. There just isn't a way to gain experience at this point. Because, and I fully agree, I don't need entry-level programmers.
Yeah.
Right? And what I'm doing right now, what we're doing right now, is like we don't need entry-level.
You need someone with like amazing experience. I mean, we're lucky to have somebody like that on the team who's done this for 40 years, right? I mean, you know, and has also has like a depth and a breadth of experience, which is just incredibly beneficial in that kind of scenario. But then what happens when the experienced guys retire?
That's exactly the problem, right? Because how do you get experience without gaining experience? And
although maybe by the time those guys retire, the AI can do it. You're always going to need humans in the loop, surely. Surely?
Not necessarily.
Yes, no?
If you look at what has been happening in the past year or so, where I think about a year ago, I think it was the CEO of, I don't know if it was Cursor or some company said, okay, in 6 months the latest, 90% of the coding jobs will be done by AI.
Okay.
We're now 12 months later, and it still isn't the case because these systems have failed to meet the expectations.
Interesting. Yeah.
And in particular in the coding space, you read a lot about at the moment where people say, there have been studies made that actually the net benefit of using automated or AI-based coding is not proven yet. Because often you spend, yes, the initial code creation is amazing, it's super fast, it creates the basic scaffolding very quickly. But then you need to spend so much time in fixing in these loops and reviewing the codes. And a big topic, if you have larger projects, is also security, because often you
This is the spring onions that's like making my... Well, spring onions never make me cry. Oh, this is spring onions. Oh, I'm like getting a serious like wave of tearing up here.
Yeah, so there have been several studies now that say the net benefit of using these tools is not there, and a lot of experienced programmers actually stop using these tools because they say, yes, I can be super fast in cranking something out, but then I'm going to spend twice the time in fixing the code and plugging the security holes that it creates, making sure there's no vulnerabilities in the codes, making sure it's maintainable. Right?
And also you don't know what's been done, right? Because the AI has written it all. So now you've got to go and check every line of code. That's
also a part, and sometimes you don't really understand what's happening in the background.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need once more, you need experience. But how do you get that? And one argument I've heard people say is, well, taking programming as an example, what you need to do is you need to just program for yourself, build stuff, build projects, implement projects, and then just put it online. So have a track record of what you've been doing. And so yes, you cannot show experience working in a job to become experienced, but you can then prove to potential employers that
This
you
is
do
what
have
I've
experience.
created.
It's just not with a company, because no company is hiring you if you're not experienced. But if you can prove that for 2-3 years you've been developing stuff and you develop workable
Solutions.
you ship products, then you're experienced. It's just a different way of getting the experience. So,
And that's also like about showing initiative, right? So maybe in that kind of specific field, it's about showing initiative, right? It's like this growth mindset of like, I'm gonna show you the value that I can bring to your company, not give me a job. It's like, here's the
yes,
value I can give.
exactly.
It's like a different mindset, right?
Do you want to make these or not?
Don't know if they go.
I don't think so, to be honest.
It's just look pretty. Just leave it.
Leave it.
What else do we need to chop? Anything else?
No, I think we're good.
We need to make the sauce.
The sauce, yes, the sauce. Excellent point.
So what goes in the sauce, man?
Everything.
Are we going to do it with the noodles or just plain on its own or what?
With rice?
Okay, well then we need to make rice.
Yes. I would say with rice.
Yeah.
We can also just have, I'm fine just having
Plain.
the chicken.
Let's just have the chicken.
Hmm?
Let's just have the chicken.
Okay.
We ate so much bread.
Yes. Yeah, so
Okay, but so, I mean, that's specific to IT and things. And I mean, the irony is that, like, 10 years ago, I remember my friends telling me, oh, their child is studying coding and going to coding camps and like, and you felt like the bad parent if your child was not going to coding camps.
that's probably going to be very loud.
Okay.
Let's wait for that.
There's no reason to have it on. Did I just switch it off or on again? Sauce.
So say it again with the...
So, I mean, I remember 10 years ago, like I had friends who were saying, no, their child was going to coding camp. And I was like, oh my word, this is clearly the thing that one has to do. Send one's child to coding camp to make sure that they are future-proofed. And now all these kids that learn to code, like Claude can do it better, or, any of these large language models can do it so much better.
But it's kind of the big question mark still, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it? But yeah, in terms of the job market, definitely it is an issue. And just the other day, I sent you the article that there was some study. I think it was by some big university that said we are looking at roughly 25% unemployment for new graduates, university graduates, right?
That is terrifying.
And that's
in the States, right?
in the States, yes. So currently it stands at roughly 9 to 10%,
Which is also high.
which is
that's
also
really
high. We're looking
yeah.
at 25%. So that means you have a generation of students who studied for 16 years when you're out of university,
Yeah.
right? Including school and then university.
And have student debts.
Have student debts in the US through the roof. And then you're not needed, right? Because no one needs your...
Your university degree and your skills, right?
Exactly, right? And so the question is, what do you
tell your kids to do?
tell your kids to do? And
I mean,
there is several ways to look at that. I've been...
the sesame seeds again. luckily. I was like looking everywhere. Oh.
What I've been hearing a lot in people from the industry saying kids should go back to the craft, right? To learn how to become a carpenter or an electrician or
A plumber.
a plumber, because these
Or
are
a
the jobs.
massage therapist or a beauty therapist or a...
Because these are the jobs which are not easily going to be replaced. In particular, when we talk about electricians, and there's going to be such a demand for data centers for, no, someone needs to install all the data centers. Like they're not going to build themselves. Someone needs to take care of the electricity, take care of the service, take care of everything. So the traditional, crafts will probably have a renaissance.
But I mean, others, I mean, like I know, for example, in South Africa, they closed a lot of those technical colleges. And they became, there was such a strong focus and a move towards university education. Everybody became obsessed about tertiary education and getting a degree from a university, etc. And they closed so many of the technical colleges, which is just such a disservice to so many young people. So I mean, like I don't know in the States or in other parts of the world. I mean, certainly in Switzerland, we're fortunate because there are so many of those kind of institutions, that offer apprenticeships and offer skills training, and young people from 16 can learn these trades, right? But I mean, there are a lot of places in the world that don't know that exists anymore.
Yeah, and most likely we will see those closed campuses coming back at some point.
Will they come back quick enough?
That's the other question. That's why I'm saying I'm quite happy I don't have kids which are just now out of university, because then you're in that period of the next, I don't know, 3 years, 5 years.
We just don't know. Like there's so many question marks. You don't
like
know.
No one knows if the whole AI bubble will burst or not, if it's going to be a sustainable industry in itself, if we just burning billions on nothing essentially, or if there really will be a future in that, and what it would mean. So no one knows. So that's the tragedy of this generation. But then the other argument I heard was, and it was coming from a guy called Yann, LeCun, which was until recently the head of AI at Meta. Very experienced AI scientist, was one of the first guys 30 years ago to develop the first algorithms, wrote some of the most important papers in the field, still writing. So he was heading Meta's AI department. He just left because he was very unhappy with the direction that was going.
Okay.
Because he said, what we're doing right now, these large language models, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, they're at dead end. We will never reach
AGI,
artificial general intelligence, with those. So he left frustrated.
Does he want to reach artificial general intelligence?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, of course. Okay. He does, but for the greater good of humanity. And so I saw this clip recently from a talk he gave at a university, and someone was asking him, well, what the heck should I study? Right, so what should I do? And what he said was, he doesn't know, but whatever it is, keep it basic, in essence, right? So don't go into some trend topic, I think he mentioned mobile apps development, which is a thing now, but who knows what's going to happen with mobile phones in the next 5 years or 10 years, right? So then these skills are going to be, they're so narrow and so focused on one trend topic that they're going to be useless. So study the basics, which are the foundation for a lot of these industries, right? So if you're, let's say, if you study physics, how we design chips might change, but there's always going to be physicists needed to envision to create these chips, right?
Or electricians needed to install.
Or electricians to install stuff, right? Yeah. So keep it simple. Don't follow trends. Don't fall for hypes, because those hypes might be over before you're finished your studies.
Does he say sort of like be a generalist as well? Like it's better to be a generalist rather than Like in a specific area? Or did he not get into?
Well, in a sense, well, I think the example that he came up with was, if you study quantum mechanics, it's something where you're going to have an application in many different areas in the future. So in a way, yes, it's generalistic. If you do app design, you might be out of a job tomorrow, right? So that's the key point. Looking at the time, didn't go very far.
We didn't get very far.
Didn't get very far. So maybe we'll continue later. I don't know, but yeah, certainly it is a problem. It's definitely a problem for anyone who is affected at this very moment, just entering the job market. For me, the most important takeaway from everything I've seen and read about this topic was leave a trace. I think someone said it like that. Leave a trace online. Make sure that you have a track record that can be followed, where people can go and say, whatever field it is, whether it's law, design, engineering, software engineering, where a potential employer could go and say, hey, well, okay, he doesn't have anything on paper, but I can see that for the past 3 years that person has been producing results of some sorts. So that must be a good person. And I think that's probably the best advice you can give anyone who is, I think anyone should have it.
Or otherwise, like, do something practical, right? So
Or do something practical, yeah.
Hands-on, practical. You're working with animals or working with humans where you can't imagine a robot doing that, or you can't imagine where you're not relying on knowledge, right? You're not relying on or specifically on, for example, academic knowledge or anything. I think that's also super important. Like, you wouldn't want a massage from a robot.
Well, those massage chairs are pretty amazing.
No, they crap. Or yeah, and also I think that we need to learn to use AI to leverage our own skills, right? So to sort of not get stuck in the trap of not using AI because we're scared of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's super important to be
understand
AI literate, to know how to use it, to know how to leverage it, to know how to use your human intelligence alongside AI.
And to understand what's happening and what are the latest trends, tools, developments. Because then you're going to at least you can kind of ride the wave.
Yeah.
Because if there's two people in the same field and one... I read an interesting comment a while ago where someone said that the future of successful people will not be the ones that necessarily know to create AI, but to know how to use AI to their advantage compared to everyone around them.
Of course. Yeah.
I think that's the key point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Given the time, we have to jump to a phone call. Short session today. Thank you for watching. Let us know what you think. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Will greatly help the algorithm. Please leave a comment and let us know what we should talk about next.
Thank you for joining us. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.